Welcome to the Insights channel. We are here today to speak with an old friend, François Becher. He is practicing Raja Yoga meditation for 45 years. So you can see that he's an authority of his own experience and he has a lot to share with us. He's from France. He has lived in France, I think, almost all his life. But then he did a big change, and nowadays he's living in the Pacific, in the French Pacific Islands. And all the source of knowledge, as well as the source of energy, he takes from Brahma Kumaris, and as well as his own journeys and his own studies. And I'm sure that he has a lot to share with all of us. So many thanks, François, for having accepted our invitation, and most welcome to our channel.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
You know, we are living different times. No, I think that the world itself was already going through different directions, but I think that with the experience of COVID, everything became more obvious in terms of all the challenges and the newness. And in such times, many people are a little lost because they lost their references of how life used to be. And all of a sudden, they are facing different ways of living in many senses. And I believe that in these moments, many people start to look into spirituality for some support, for some direction, for some sustenance. But at the same time, we have so many options. And I also believe that there is a kind of lack of clarity in terms of what is really spirituality. So my first question to you would be, what is your definition or your sense of real spirituality? What it is spirituality for you?
Okay, thank you. I love your questions, because being here with the Polynesian people, you know, you cannot go in too many theories. You have to be very basic. And spirituality, already the word is special, you know, and because often spirituality means religion for many people. And I have to say, no, religion is a belief system. It's like you choose something, you follow. And spirituality is exactly the opposite. Spirituality is researching, is going towards something who makes sense for you, but you have to build it by your own. You don't follow. So you have to discover. And when I ask the people, with who are you living most of the time? But we live the most of the time with ourselves, you know? So we have to deal with ourselves all the time. Then try to see in one day, how was your day? Have you been through heavy stuff, clouds, storms, or was it very jolly, joyful? Were you very happy? Basically, what was your state of mind, you know? And so spirituality is dealing with you, with your state of mind. It's dealing with what is happening in your head, which is basically, that's you. And you, that you are a consciousness, you are a spiritual being. Means that's the one definition of spirituality. It's not mind's definition, it's the difference between matter and the other things. So when you suffer, when you have feelings, when you have emotions, you know, has nothing to do with matter. It's something happening in yourself, in you, in your mind. And spirituality is going, for me, I say it's the science of the soul. So we have to use spirituality as a science to explore the soul or yourself. I mean, your own, your consciousness, whatever, to find out what can be changed, what you have to learn to have in yourself the best time. And a second definition of harmony, of spirituality, is someone who knows how to be in harmony with the self, with the other people, and with the planet, basically. So it's a matter of position. One is to be in peace with yourself, is to be in harmony with yourself, and and to understand yourself as well. You know what even the Greek was saying, know yourself and you know the secret of the gods. Aristotle was saying that. It's still there. For me, it's still there. But before knowing yourself is how good are you with yourself? And that's the main topic with the people here in Polynesia. Because we live, of course, in a paradise here. The nature, the climate, easygoing. And the people are beautiful, are really beautiful people. I don't understand how come they're so kind, you know. But they're all suffering in their heads, you know, because they're challenging, as you say, the global world. They are challenging their own little difficulties with children. They're challenging due to their jobs and so on. So they know also what it means to be happy and joyful, and they know also what it means having a hard time. And spirituality is for me, call it a study, plus meditation, which is going to be the practical part, to understand better what's happening in me, what should I change, how much I'm under influences, how much I'm not under my own control, to have just a great time. And if I can have a great time with myself, it's like curing yourself. Like we're all a little bit sick. And if we can be healthy in our head, we will be very healthy with the other people, and probably with the whole planet. And someone who is healthy automatically is going to be helpful, is going to help people around, is going to improve things. Because when you are happy and healthy, you don't like bad things. You like to see people very good and happy like you. And you don't get caught in greed. Because what I see, especially here, where the people had nothing, 150 years ago, the people were walking naked here. They had no material things, but they had the nature and they had friends, you know, and a belief system. They were connected with the ancestors, you know, with the gods, and they were happy. But today, greed has come. Mm-hmm. Now they know what means money. They know what greed means, possession. And this is terrible for them, because they don't know how to deal with possession. Because in one hand, they're like kids. You know, they always say they are grown-up children, the Polynesian. It's very true. So if you give a toy to a child, he'll love it. But 2 days later, he wants another toy. And that's what happened, because the toy is fascinating, but it doesn't bring results. It doesn't fulfill yourself. And there are, as you said, the people are today confused, but here they're confused due to that. Confused to a peaceful, happy state of mind, and a happy state of mind which is only short going due to toys, you know. And money brings you happiness for a short time, you know, éphémère, we say in French. So it's very challenging. And what I bring to them, it's spirituality. It's you have to be strong yourself. You have to make some cleaning up in your own mind. And if your mind works well, your intellect will work with serenity. At that moment, you can see the influences which takes you apart from each other and who steals your happiness, and your quality relationship goes away. So for me, that's what I do here. It's what I do to myself every morning. I remember an old friend told me, he said, François, every morning when you wake up, you have to use the good formula. I say, what is the good formula? He said, most of the time when you get up in the morning, you look around, you say, what's going on? You know, what's on the TV? What's on the radio? What's going on? And later on, you ask the second question, how do I feel? But then it's too late. If you say the first question, what's going on? You're already on the influence of what's happening, you know? He says, if you get up in the morning, your first question should be, how do I feel? And after you can ask, what's going on? And when you have the first question in the morning, peacefully, how do I feel? And then you look closely, I feel fine. I'm in a beautiful country. My health is good. The weather is fine. The life is beautiful. The people are good, basically. So you can see everything's positive. How do I feel? Of course, I feel good. So you start with extremely a positive basic, which you are not lying to yourself. You know, not everything is fine, but 80% is good. So how do I feel? Perfect. Say, what's going on? Then you hear your friends say, you know what's happening last week or yesterday? It's okay, but it doesn't affect you. You know, it's secondary. And then you feel much more powerful because you can deal with things, as we say, observer. You are a little bit attached, you're observer, and you can help. It's because you're observer. You have a new perspective of whatever happens around you. And because you have a new perspective, you are powerful because you are yourself. And if you start in the morning and you fall straight away on what's going on, you're already caught in all the influences. Means you are not yourself anymore. And that's for me the main threat of what's happening in the world today. People are all under very heavy influences from the whole world. And then they go ups and down, you know, especially through emotion of what's going on.
Yeah, but look, we were speaking a little bit before, and you were saying about quantum physics and that you have a little bit of background in this area as well. And I mean, we understand what you are saying, and it's very, very precise and very logical even, no? But what I believe it happens is that to really be able to sustain this level of consciousness, you need to have some tools, because it seems to me that all the events which happen around us, they have a kind of field of energy which is very strong and kind of captures our awareness without we even noticing, no? And you are kind of completely trapped by whatever is going on around you, this kind of this field of energy, which is huge. It's like a cyclone, no, going on. And to be able to come out of this and put your awareness in another dimension, let's say, in another field, and sustain it there, you need to have some tools, some strategies. And what is your ways? What do you do so that whatever you are saying is not just a theory, a nice theory which makes sense, but it's really practical and you can be protected of just spinning this kind of crazy field of energy from the world around.
I like you talking about quantum physics. Your example, look, you have the nucleus of an atom, and you have the electron spinning in the orbiter. Nothing special, huh? Mm-hmm. But an electron can move on a next orbiter. You know, how can he do that? He needs extra energy. Mm-hmm. You cannot go from one level, from one orbit to the next, if you don't gain extra energy. That's physics. So, as you say, how to get out from the heaviness, the orbiter of what's going on the planet, you want to take a little bit of high jump. That's what we call a quantum jump. How to take a quantum jump if you don't get the energy to do it? So on the physical level, the electron gets the energy from another electron, a photon passing by, gives them its own energy, and here we go. But we are not electrons. But on our spiritual level, we have two. One, it's knowledge, means a new understanding. It's like you say, suddenly you say, oh, now I understand. So you're not anymore the same person when you understand something new. You know, it's already helped you to get out of the box. You know, often we say, think out of the box. It's like take a quantum jump. So we need knowledge, we need reflection. We need, this type of tool is to understand. And when you understand things, you move from darkness to light. Leonardo da Vinci was saying, if you look at a candle, the light of a candle, you see the light, but you see also the darkness. Okay? So if you want to have more light, you know, you have to put more energy, and the candle light becomes bigger. But what happens? The frontier with darkness is getting bigger. So you still realize that you know a lot of new things, but the border with the unknown, with the darkness, is still there, but even bigger. So it's very stimulating. Means more you know that you don't know. So otherwise you stay in your little box, you think you are the master of the world. You know, that's some comfort zone. You think you know everything. But so long you don't progress, you don't see that you have so much more to learn. And that's a beautiful dynamic to take you out of what's happening. That's the first energy, is knowledge. The second, you need spiritual energy. And that comes what we practice, meditation. So you need silence, you know, you need silence, you need solitude, you need to be, if you believe in God, get connection to an outside energy, because there is an outside energy if you feel it. You know, I don't say if you believe it, you feel that, and then you get another energy which helps you again to jump away. You know, so that's just to say for how to make a quantum jump. But in the same way, we're talking about spirituality. Spirituality is like many physics, it's something you don't see. So long we were studying the classical physics, you know, the Newtonian physics, we could see everything. But as soon we start with quantum physics, means something which is totally invisible. It's totally so small. It's smaller than the atoms, you know. And we discovered that the rules in quantum physics are not logical. Mm-hmm. They don't fit with the logic of the macrocosm, call it like that, you know. What is spirituality? Spirituality is something invisible. It's what's happening in my own mind. And in your mind, in every people, we don't know the people. We don't know ourselves exactly how much we know what's happening in the universe of someone else. And we know it's sacred. You know, we should be very respectful when we see someone, because we have no clue of who that person is. And if we are always in our little box, we can be very hard with people, you know, because we put them in a very mundane way. But no, they are very, I say they are sacred. That's what the people here believe in. You know, that's why in this country, they talk about the mana. Mana is a very high energy. They talk about sacred, and they talk about taboo. You know, taboo. Means they know everything is secret. Even when they cut a tree, they ask permission to the tree first. You know, they talk to the nature to be sure, harmony. You know, they won't kill something if you don't need. You know, don't kill for happy, for. Then they ask to the tree, can I cut you? You know, because for them, the tree has a mana. The tree has a secret. And you understand why they have also the taboo. Taboo, which is what is forbidden. You know, they ask you, you cannot go there. Why? It's taboo, because the ancestors are living there. So of course we don't understand. But for them, makes sense, you know. So we're talking about spirituality. It's something not visible. It's invisible. It's something secret happening in us, which has his secret part. He has also his taboo, you know. I'm not allowed to step in your mind, you know. We can be very close friends. We can be very open to each other, but there is an area which I'm not going. Mm-hmm. I'm not allowed to go. Why, you know, that's ingerence. And if we would understand deeper this, we have much more respect amongst each other, and there won't be war as we see in the world today. We're not allowed to kill people. We're not allowed, because we don't know them. We don't know the depth of every one of us. You know, and spirituality, it's really giving light of something we forgot. We forgot the deep part of all of us, you know. So of course, this connect to physics. Physics is very invisible now, with its own laws and with its own contradiction. And what is most beautiful in quantum physics is hard to understand. We know it works, but it's very hard with the logical mind to understand how it works. Mm-hmm. And you know, that's one main teacher of a pioneer of the quantum physics. He was giving a course in the university in the USA, a course on quantum physics. And he talked to the students after. He said, did you understand? And then he says, if you understood, that means I was not clear. Because you cannot get it. Takes a long time to understand that it's not our dimension. It works differently. Mm-hmm. But spirituality is same. Do you know how another person is going to react? Do you know the temperament of someone? Do you know his character? Do you know his background? Do you know his feelings? How his emotions are working? We have no clue, you know? So how much do I know about myself first? You know, spirituality is really it's a discovery. And for me, if I do this for 45 years, and I have been traveling around the world many times, but the biggest adventure is with me, is to discover me.
You mentioned something quite interesting that as more light you are able to generate, at the same time, you also kind of amplify your border with darkness. And and at the same time, you say that spirituality is about to generate an energy of cure and to be healthy and to be happy. But I believe there is also a way of dealing with the darkness, which becomes obvious to you, because I think that as more as you know your light, all the kind of negativity or the all the bad stuff which has been accumulated in yourself also becomes very much obvious. And I think that one of the things which prevents people to follow a spiritual path sometimes is exactly because they have this feeling that spirituality makes them feel guilty or makes them feel kind of heavy or have this aspect of the sin and the suffering for your sins. And there is all these moral aspects also many times connected with it. So in your experience, or how do you do with yourself, what is your way of dealing with the shadow, with the darkness that becomes bigger as more light you are able to generate?
With myself is quite easy because 45 years I started, I tell you, I was not aware of what's going to happen to me. So when you are innocent, everything's okay, you know, and fortunately it's like that. But if I knew beforehand, I don't know if I would have the courage. Mm-hmm. But it's happened everywhere. When people get married, you know, they don't know what they're doing, you know, because they're innocent, or also they fall in love. It's only later on they see the challenge living with someone for a long time, you know. And if they are very courageous, and very open and very intelligent, it can last. But so many marriages last only 2 years, 3 years, because they are not able to face the challenges, the situations, probably themselves, you know, and also the challenge. So what you need, again, as we say, you need knowledge, you need to talk, you need to go deep, and you need tolerance. You have to work on yourself, and you need so many qualities to create this harmony, because no one is clean, white, and no one is dark, black. It's wrong. So with myself, I started very happily and innocently, and I discovered my shadows later on. But in the process, I accepted, I was more open to myself. And I was maybe more flexible with my own ego. And when you know that the ego was protecting you, but it was protecting you against protecting you, not seeing your bad side. You know, the ego is a protection, is a shield which protects what you don't want to see and gives the appearance of yourself which is false. You know, so it means ego, you are cheating. You are cheating with yourself, you are cheating with people, because you give a wrong image of yourself. As you grow in spirituality, you have to remove that shield to show to everybody exactly your own, who you are, means your light and your darkness. But often darkness is not that bad. We just have to accept it, and we work on it step by step. And you know, when you show your darkness, I mean, you don't put it on a table in the public, you know, but your friends, your close people, they are very happy to see that you are able to talk about. I mean, to talk about your weakness. And if you talk about your weakness, you help the other people also to talk about their own weaknesses. Because if you hide your weakness, they will hide their own weaknesses. And we are dealing in a no man's land. Means we are talking together without getting connected. That's what happened. People today have conversation, they talk, but they don't connect. That's what today the multimedia are doing. You know, today we're the world of communication. But people can communicate, but they don't connect. So, of course, we have all these technological tools as we use at the moment. But if you don't break the window glass, the wall between your own box or your own secrets, the other people cannot understand you. And like a saying, there was a saying, I think it's from India. I don't know if it's from India. Not sure. I think it was a British philosopher. He was saying, if you don't hear if you don't hear my silence, you don't understand me. That means today we do lots of noise in our communication. What about communication in silence? And he says, if you can understand or hear my silence, you understand me. What does it? It means really there's a moment you have to explore the light and the darkness in yourself, but how much are you able to convey to someone else? At least to open gently, of course. So if you are in this dynamic to play with yourself, to take away the curtain of what has to be changed, what you don't understand, what are the dark side of yourself, what are your vices or your bad habits, we have to deal with them. That's the only way to bring, if you bring light in a house, in the dark areas, you are killing all the bats and all the stuff, because they grow. All the bats, they grow where it's dark and moist. If you bring light, they move away. It's the same. We have to have the courage to move the curtain. So I didn't do it in one day. 45 years to discover step by step. So it's not very painful, but it needs courage. It needs you have to do it all the time. You cannot do half day, 1 month to give up and take again. It's an ongoing way to observe yourself, because meditation for me is, first of all, observe yourself. As I say, how do you feel? Every morning, how do you feel? Means, how do you know what's going on in yourself? How good are you with yourself? It's a whole therapy in some ways.
And I think you also need a kind of safe environment, to be able to do it, knowing that you are not going to be judged or marginalized or criticized or defamed or whatever. I think that sometimes people are afraid of this, because self-esteem is also something that has to be built up, at this point. But
you have you have to find your friends. The first friend is yourself. Your worst enemy is you. Your best friend is you again. Is your mind. But you have also close friends which are probably also in the same dynamic. Then you can really work with it. But for me, the big threat is not even people. As I was saying, the way we think is the way you are. We forget about the power of our own thoughts. When you think bad, you are bad. If you are happy, your thoughts are very joyful, you feel good. Means your thoughts do your state of mind. So if you change your thoughts, your state of mind changing. We know it's easy to change your thoughts. It's a full practice. And your thoughts, they go very quick. They have no dimension, no space, no time, the thoughts. And we know they can affect even people who are miles away. Thoughts are very powerful. So that's the first exercise, is first see the quality of my thought energy, because it brings my inner state. If your inner state means a state of mind, which brings a good feelings also, it probably shapes your emotions, then you feel much safer. Because again, when you are strong, even a company is not the best, but you are powerful. And you can maybe challenge people who are not very, a little bit nasty with you. So it's first, we have to do a very deep work with ourselves. And what I feel is doing a lot of damage today on the planet. I don't know if you think you know what I'm going to say. The media, the TV, mostly the TV, because it has such an impact on the way people think. And after the people, the way they think is the way that the TV has told them. You know, they get influenced by the way news are coming. And the illusion, it's after. Because people believe the way they think is their own way of thinking. It's wrong. They think the way the TV told them the way to think. And that's terrible on the planet at the moment. People think like the main news, the main TV. And they get so influenced, they believe that's my way of thinking. And they're starting judging situation, you know, having heavy position. And you say, that's your position? Ah, yes. Are you sure? I think you are repeating what you heard yesterday on the TV. And they would even fight against you. Say, no, it's my way of thinking. That's how powerful the influence are. So the media are extremely influenced in the today's world, more than your friends or your company. So we have to be extremely careful on that level. So,
and I was remembering, it's connected with what you were saying, I remember that you came here, I'm speaking from Belo Horizonte in Brazil, and you came here many years ago, I think. And at that time, it was a discussion about, if I'm not wrong, it was about environment and the direction that the entire humanity and the world is taking, you know, like now living in the Pacific Islands, and I think that it's a very fragile place as well in terms of natural possibility of flooding and whatever. And also the situation that we are seeing in the world in terms of this ongoing war, which is going on in Europe. So how is your perception in terms of the direction in which the humanity is going towards? I mean, where are we going? You know, what is going to be our future? And how should we live this? And what should be our approach to whatever is happening, so that we are able to deal with it in a positive way, not positive in a kind of silly way of speaking, but kind of make the best of it as an opportunity and not really be kind of paralyzed or afraid. We see that there are so many people which are with anxiety. And anyway, how to deal with all of these changes that we are facing at the moment?
Of course, what Mahatma Gandhi was saying, the first change is in yourself. Of course, you cannot change the situation, you can change people. But when you change other people, and we can change the whole thing. You start from the bottom to the top, you know. We have to be, of course, positive. So nothing I can say nothing is bad. But what is true, we are in a system which is in a heavy entropy. And we know entropy finished always by disorder. And after disorder is chaos. And in physics, they will tell you chaos, from the chaos comes order. So we're exactly on this confluence. We're in disorder for many years. We're now going in a chaotic world in every field, not one field, in every field, not only environment. People relationship, of course, finance, very heavy, and resources. And also connection between governments and people, and everything gets very heavy, very heavy. So we can see the chaos is coming, but the chaos is also a natural process. So in some ways, it helps us to wake up. So that it seems that it's energy which goes down, and we all acknowledge it. Not everybody, but many acknowledge that there's energy going down and the chaos is growing. But it's also the same energy helps us to wake up. And in that moment, when you wake up, you build up again another energy will take us up. So we have to be aware that the process will go on. The process of going down in chaos is not going to stop like that. But doesn't mean we cannot reverse the situation. And we have no choice. We have to reverse. And more you realize chaos, more you work on the energy which is opposing the chaos, means which is rebuilding. And it's very good fun to rebuild, because chaos is only fear, anxieties, and nothing funny. Rebuilding is only fun. It's based to love and friendship and happy dynamic. So we have no choice. We have to rebuild. So not get caught in the stream going down. We have to become like salmon fish. You know, they swim upstream and they enjoy doing it. They have the energy to doing it. And very few do that. So we have to be clever enough to see that's the natural part. And you won't stop the nature. You know, after winter comes spring. So you cannot stop the winter. We are not going to stop the winter. But we need a deep winter, a cold winter, especially in Europe, was the rules and the laws. If the winter is not cold, the spring won't be good. Because many seeds, the ground needs a very heavy cold. Because it kills the bacteria and it keeps the bugs. But if now, what's happening now? The winter is not even cold anymore. So the winter is not killing all the parasites. And they're all coming up in spring. So we have to also accept the dark side of the chaos, which in some ways cleaning things and rebringing order. So we don't have to be influenced by the chaos. What the surfer, many surfers here, they are surfing on the waves, you know, and they're very heavy waves here. They have waves of 10 meters. Can you imagine? The Olympics, next Olympics will be in Tahiti, the surfing Olympics, in Tuapo. Can you imagine waves 10 meters high? It's frightening, frightening. The last few months ago, the champion came here and he broke his arm in the wave. You see the power of the wave? If I would go, I would kill myself. You know, you have to be a professional to go in this type of waves. And they play with it, you know. Means they're not, they play, they have fun to play in what is extremely powerful. And so they use the energy of the wave to surf on the wave, and they get the energy and they glide on the water. It's beautiful to watch. It's a little bit what we have to do. We are in a process, and we have to accept a process. If you want, or if you live only to see the outcome, the results, you might get depressed. So don't see the results, follow the process, surf on the process, and the energy in the process is helping you to grow. It's helping you to invent new things, to reinvent yourself, and to just become a new person, you know? So we often say reinvent yourself, but where you get the energy? But it's funny enough that the energy is in the chaos.
Mm.
The energy is on a wave which is provided by the nature. But if you don't know how to take it, you might die. Or you might have a very hard time. You might be able to swim under the water for half a minute, you know. I go in the big waves, but not the big ones. But I know I like to play in big waves. But I know time to time, I will be under the water for at least a half minute. Because you cannot do better. And only when the wave gets quiet, you go on the surface. But for half minute, you don't have to panic. You cannot. Otherwise, you don't go there. So if you want to play with it, you have to know there will be sometimes you will be what they call here, you will be in the washing machine. Means you go up and down, you don't know what's up and down. And you cannot do anything. The wave is too strong. You know? So
anyway, you are speaking based in your own experience, you know, because I think that you have already answered my last question to you, which was exactly going to be about this process of completely reinventing yourself. Because after living so many years in Europe, in France, it was already in your plans, but it happened that you ended up in the French Pacific Islands. And I mean, it's a completely different experience, I believe. No, so my question was going to be exactly what has been your learning, in all of this change that has happened to you. And I believe that you already answered part of it.
Part of it, but you would believe the change in Europe is the chaos over there. I had tested. I know what it is. But the chaos here is so different. The chaos is the people.
Mm.
The people are so sweet, so kind. It's like a shock for me. Because it's wonderful. The people have something we've forgotten. The people are here, children. If you know, I read lots of books about the history of Polynesia. You have to know these people have not been connected to the whole world for thousands of years.
Wow.
You know, the Captain Cook came only 200 years ago.
Mm.
The first priest came here, civilization, in some ways, you know, only 150 years ago, 120 years ago. So it's very new. Everything is new for them. So the power of the past is still there, you know, and that's what I enjoy with the people here. They are still innocent. They're still innocent, and there's a saying here: "It's the country of the ever present." These people didn't know what is the future. The future was not in the how we call it?
Their awareness.
Yeah, we call it logiciel. What is it again? We put it in a computer. You know, the program. Call it program. They don't have this program in their psyche. And you can understand, it's a country which have no season.
Mm-hmm.
There's just one season we have a little bit more rain. But the temperature is 29 degrees. Every island has a beautiful lagoon with fish. Means we have fruit the whole year long. Everything grows by its own. It's very fertile. The earth is so fertile, and plenty of fish. So why to think about tomorrow? You know, there's no winter, there's no cold. You don't need clothes. So the present is, the future was out of the psyche of these people. And even the past has no much impact. You know, So I discover a type of people which don't know how to deal with the Western psyche. We are planning people, and we are people who are worrying all the time. No, we worry. We worry about yesterday, or we have waste thoughts about yesterday, and we worry about tomorrow. And suddenly I confront the civilization, people, they don't know what is past, and tomorrow doesn't exist, you know? So even the bank had to do special things because they were ready to take a credit. You know, suddenly you say you can have a credit to give you money. And you tell them you have to pay back every week, every month. But this is not in their psyche. You know, what does it mean to these people? You pay back every month for 5 years. It's out of their psyche. It's out of the belief system. It's very dangerous, you know. So we have to be very careful. Of course, they're changing because the Western influence is very heavy and fast. But in the depth of the soul, they are still like that. And it's so comfortable for me to confront people who are soft, innocent, and always smiling, because that's what they are, you know. And you know, in the French language we say tu and you. We know with, like in English you say you to everybody. I don't know in Portuguese. In French
you say tu e você.
Okay, and here you doesn't exist. You say tu even to the governor. Let's give you an idea of the people. Means you say tu to your friend, to your brother. You say tu to the policeman. Can you imagine? You say tu to the governor. That gives you an idea that we are one family here. And it's the whole consciousness is different. The whole state of mind, the whole atmosphere is different. So for me, the chaos is confronting something which is harmonious. And for me, the lesson is to release my stress, to release my anxieties, and to not think too much about future. The present is what I am today and what I have to do. And I know if I do the best today, tomorrow is going to be fine. So why to plan tomorrow if today I do wrong things? If I do wrong things, tomorrow is going to be wrong. So better focus on today. Make sure today you are fine. Your behavior is good. So tomorrow is going to be fine. So that's my challenge here.
Excellent. What a nice challenge. And anyway, I believe that different setups for more challenging that they might be, which is not really the case, but they just makes us better human beings. No, we have such a huge kind of potential in terms of qualities, and really when we are kind of faced by different challenges, we have this opportunity to develop other parts of ourselves, no?
Yeah.
And kind of makes us believe that reality is much broader than we might imagine.
Yeah.
So we are coming to the end of our little conversation. It was very interesting, and I'd like to invite you to give a last message to our people, to those who are watching this video, something which you feel it's meaningful and that you'd like to share before we finish.
Oh, just one sentence, if you like.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone, which is not comfortable. Because in a chaotic world, a comfort zone is an illusion. A comfort zone is a trait. A comfort zone is everything, only suffering. So move out your comfort zone it's not easy because you need courage. You have to be to move into a new adventure, but it's the only way to save yourself.
The only way to save yourself. Very nice. Okay, dear François, many, many thanks for your time, for your wisdom, for, I mean, being so open to share your insights, your experience. Yeah, and also thank you for all those who are watching us in this video. If you found find it meaningful, we have other conversations like this. And you can just subscribe to the channel and you are going to be updated of whatever new it's coming on. And also share with your friends and other people that you find might think this kind of conversation and reflection something interesting as well.
Excellent. Very good.
Many thanks.
As they say here, maruru. Maruru means thank you.